You have lightning. You want to place my only hope.
Alright, so Daniel Owen is a YouTuber. He makes videos about graphics card and games and so on. And he made a recent video that there's something he said in it that I firmly disagree. And so he's making a case that the fake resolution is actually one of the best forms of optimization in or for games. Or he begins the argument by saying that he views optimization as a ratio between input and output. Input being the hardware requirements, output being the image quality. And he said that one of the most effective ways of increasing output, that is your frame rate, right? Well, performance in this case, not visual quality, performance. So output is performance in this particular case. One of the best ways to improve output is to reduce the resolution. And he also said that before the fake resolution technology, if you were to reduce the resolution on games, then you would just be left with a 720p image on the 1080p screen, and that looks very, very bad, or a 1080p on a 1440p screen, or 720p game on a 1440p display, and those look very, very bad. And so he's saying that because the upscaling allows the 720p or the 1080p image to look better than what they would normally look like on the 1440p display, the fake resolution is one of the greatest optimization techniques available to games. Here's my problem with that. That creates a bit of revisionist history, because it wasn't until recently that buying graphic cards of sufficient power to run the damn things at native resolution max setting was a problem. So back in the day, it wasn't that unobtainable for you to buy a mid-range or even a high-end GPU that you can run the games at the target resolution max setting. That is only a recent phenomenon. So it wasn't very often that you would end up having to buy a GTX 1070 and having to run the game at 480p and then put it on a 1080p display. Right? You bought the 1070, you could run all the games at 1080p display, no problem. So I do not like this revisionist history aspect of it. And this is type of, now I'm not saying that he's a NVIDIA shield or AMD shield or anything, as much as sometimes people are misguided in their hyper optimism, and that's one of the things I see here. Is the tech impressive? Yes, it is impressive, but there are far more negatives to it when it comes to games than there are positives. And that is one of the things that I don't think that he gets in that analogy. Because upscaling is a funny thing, where if the cards are powerful enough to run the thing natively, I made a case with Hitman 3 the other day, you don't use upscaling at all. And it's not until the recent cards and Unreal Engine that we have problems running the games. Now usually if you would run into problems, it's because they use the lower end, so the 50 and the 60 class cards. Yes, the lifespan on those will typically just be that same generation. At best you might get if you're lucky, you might get 2 generations of worth of use from a lower end card. But when you go to the higher end, the 70 class and the 80 class, you're usually able to survive like 2 to 3 generations before needing to drop resolution. So this is a quick video that when I heard that part, I'm like, no, that argument only makes sense if what you're describing was a regular occurrence, and we regularly had to drop the resolution of games in order to play it, and that was not the case for mid-range cards and higher until very recently.